Everybody doing today? My name is John from Saint Endeavor, and today we are going to be talking about the album Comatose from Christian rock band Skillet. But before we get into the album, there's three things I want to discuss. The first thing being is that this is a Christian rock band. Yes, I get it. I will establish the fact that they are a Christian rock band, as I said in the intro, but I do not interpret their songs as Christian. It's music. You can interpret the music however you want. I did not interpret it as Christian. I tried to compare it to like relationships and dealing with emotional problems. The other two things are changes involving the video. Yes, the lighting is different. The glare annoyed me in editing, so I'd imagine it would annoy you guys, so I got rid of it. And the other thing being is that I'm not going to be listing off songs anymore at all. If there will be certain songs that I will mention, but I will not be going down in a row listing them. I kind of stopped doing that after a while, and I was skipping some. Just because it's kind of hard for me to write about every single song, because I don't love every single song on an album, and I don't have to enjoy it. And there's always going to be a few songs on every album that I don't want to write about, that I don't want to listen to multiple times, just because I don't like it. And it's something that I don't feel passionate talking about these songs that I don't like. Which is why you'll never see me negative review an album on this. You might see a couple criticals, but never anything negative. So anyway, I hope you guys will tell me how you like this new format of reviewing, and I hope it goes more fluently. It was definitely a lot easier for me to write, and I really hope you guys enjoy the video, but now we can finally get into the 2006 release, Comatose. To me, this album is where Skillet is probably at its best. A lot of common criticism about Skillet these days is that they're kind of lazy in their writing and all their music sounds the same, and I can definitely see where people are coming from that. I do like the album Unleashed and I do like the album Rise and Awake, but they are a little repetitive in some of the sounds, and people say the albums before Comatose were kind of too heavy religion based and stuff like that. And so I feel like Comatose is that nice middle to where this is probably their best record. The album starts off with the song Rebirthing, which is a very good choice to open up the album. It's a very solid track, and it has these solid tracks throughout the entire album. The only other song that I could see opening the album would be Comatose, but Comatose doesn't really fit well, and it is greatly placed right after Better Than Drugs, with their lyrical meanings mashing up very, very nicely, which I'll get into a little later. So Rebirthing is definitely a very, very good track to start off the album with. One thing that this album does very well that albums like Awake and Rise don't really do well is pacing, where it does a heavier song, then a softer song, then a heavier song, then a softer song, or do a couple heavies, then a soft. And it does a very good job doing this. And it's a good thing because albums like Rise will actually wear you down because it has too many heavy songs in it. It's a really long record. It's the kind of record that I can't sit down and listen to. Comatose is the exact opposite of that. I could sit down and listen to Comatose the whole thing through, and I won't really get tired of any of the tracks. A common criticism that I hear for Skillet is that they don't like John Cooper, the lead vocalist, voice. They don't like the way he sounds. And on songs like Yours to Hold, I can definitely see why they do that. He comes off as a little bit whiny, and he comes off as a little bit douchey in a way sometimes. Um, and I don't really think John is meant to do softer songs. I really don't think he's meant to do softer songs. His voice is just kind of meant for a heavier style song. They do it right with Looking for Angels at the end of the album, but with Yours to Hold and even with Those Nights, he just comes off as a little whiny and annoying. Writing on this album is very, very heavy, and I don't like the writing direction Skillet has gone since this album. And this is definitely where they're probably at their best for writing. I haven't listened to all of their previous albums. I haven't listened to the self-titled. I haven't listened to, I think it's called Alien Youth yet. Those are albums that I'm definitely going to be checking out and maybe even reviewing. But this is, out of all the albums I've listened to, this is where Skillet's writing is at its best. If you want really good lyrical meanings, especially with tracks like Better Than Drugs and Comatose, those are my two favorite songs on the album, then definitely you will enjoy this record. If you're the kind of person who just wants heavy riffs, or if you're a metalhead, then I don't know if you'll like all of this album. You'll like some of it, not all of it. In the tracks Better Than Drugs and Comatose twice now. And the reason I mention these is, well, let's just start with Better Than Drugs then. Better Than Drugs is very, very smart lyrical meaning, and it starts off with this amazing bass line, which leads into the first verse, where John starts talking about how somebody that he knows, somebody that he loves, stops the aches and the pains and clears his head and sends him to a better place, which is everything that drugs do. But this person's better than drugs because they don't hurt you. which then leads into Comatose, where now he's addicted to this person and he relies too much on the person. And I think they did a fantastic job connecting those two songs. It's definitely the highlight of the album for me. It again with the older I get and those nights. I feel like those songs are connected too. Where in older I get, he's wondering, why did I waste so much time with you? Why did I do all this? We could have been out doing other stuff. And then in those nights, it's somebody else talking about how they spent all this time with this person. They really love spending time with them, and it's answering all the questions that they were asked in the older I get. Skillet does this great job of connecting these songs together, and this whole middle section of the album is an absolute fucking highlight. From Better Than Drugs up until Those Nights. Those 4 songs are probably my favorite on the album, with Better Than Drugs, then Comatose, then The Older I Get, then Those Nights. This album that I really like is the female vocalist in it is not overused like it is in Rise. I feel like they overuse Jen in Rise a little bit. This female vocalist I like more than Jen, although I feel like Jen is a better vocalist. This one conveys more emotion, and it works out really well, especially with tracks like Last Night. As I said before, I don't think metalheads will love this album. They might think it's okay. They might think half of it's okay. But since it goes from hard to soft, I know a lot of metalheads won't like it. And if you're somebody who's into softer sounding music, then you'll like half this album. So I feel like it appeases to everybody, which is a good thing that an album can do. But some of the problems I have with this album is that some of the lyrical meanings are a little too similar, like Last Night and then Yours to Hold, and then The Older I Get and Those Nights. I honestly thought that it went from The Older I Get to Those Nights, and there was a little bit of a static thing at the beginning of Those Nights, which sounds pretty cool, but I honestly thought that what I was listening to fucked up and played the same song again. The beats were way too similar on that, as well as the lyrical meanings were a little similar on that too. But those problems are beyond nitpicking. I feel like most people will enjoy this record. It's got a great middle ground of heavy lyrical meaning and then the heavy bass and really good rock music that Skillet has done since this album, along with that heavy writing style from the previous albums. You mesh them together and you get a pretty perfect album. This is probably in my top 5 albums. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. That is 3 9.5 out of 10s I've given in a row. And this album definitely deserves that title to be tied with Life Starts Now and Blurry Face. Overall, I really do think Comatose is a fantastic album. That's why I gave it a 9.5 rating. So because it's such a fantastic album, I'll be linking that bitch down in the description. It will be the playlist. It will be the link to the playlist for all of the songs on the album, and I really hope you guys go check them out and come back after you've listened to it and leave a comment. Say if you agree with my rating, say if you don't agree with my rating. All the track ratings and all that good stuff and my favorites and my least favorites will be in the description below, as long as the link to my Instagram. I am no longer going to be using the Twitter, so just Instagram will be in there. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. One of the changes I didn't address, and I want to just quickly run this down, is that I no longer am going to be including background music, so I tried to do a lot more cuts in this video opposed to the last, and the reasoning behind that, and I also tried to make it shorter, but the reasoning behind that is because without the background music, I feel like I'm a little awkward in front of the camera still, but that'll come and it'll change soon enough. I'm just sick of getting copyright strikes. Another thing I want you guys to do is leave in the comments what you want me to review. I spend about maybe 30 minutes looking through albums trying to decide what to review, and it's kind of hard to do. So why don't you guys do me a solid and just leave in the comments what you want me to review. I will review anything. Anything. I don't care about its popularity. I really don't. I don't care how old it is. You want me to review something by the fucking Stones that was released in the early 60s? I'll do it. You want me to release something by Miley Cyrus that was released like 2 months ago? I'll fucking do it. By the way, I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe for more content. Remember to leave a like on this video. Go check out all the other album reviews, which will be the top playlist on the top of the channel, I believe. And I will see you all in the next video. I have been John from St. Endeavor. Peace out.